Are we ready? No, I'm ready, but are you ready? Because it's time to do some building today, because I got something. I got something in the mail, like on Monday, I think. It's, look what it is. I got the avatar. And because I got the avatar, I kind of have to check what it's worth. Let me turn on all the lights I have around here, so we have a nice view of what's really happening. And then let's start playing with the avatar, because I am honestly interested how this thing compares to the DJI, especially DJI goggles 2. I have goggles too, and I'm not really sold 100%. So my mix setup is incredible. So it is incredible or sucks, because then you made the face that it sucks. So good or bad? Because I think it's good. I kind of like spent a lot of time and effort and some money for the microphone setup. Okay. Good. Okay, so hello, gents, and the short story. I got this from Caddx, so we might say that this is a sponsored video, sponsored link. Well, to some extent, yes. So everybody is clear that I have not paid for that. This was given to me by the Caddx themselves. They are talking to me again. Life is fantastic, and everybody loves Pavel one more time, so which is pretty cool. And I also have one of the VTXs. I have the Avatar Pro kit, the one that some say it's better, some say that it's not better. So we will have to work with that. And I also got the Avatar FPV VRX. This one is kind of complicated because I no longer have any analog goggles, so I can connect this thing too. I will try to borrow the HDOs for a few weeks, at least for a few days. But then I also realized that I have the field monitor for my camera. So I can just plug this thing to my field monitor and I have basically I have the FPV station. Then I don't have to work with the goggles anymore. So this is also kind of interesting, kind of good news. Plan for today is that what we will do. We will take apart one of my quads, this one in particular. As you can see, it's kind of abused. It kind of survived quite a lot of beating in its time. I'm barely flying this thing. I'm barely flying recently, so that's completely different thing. Cool Cat, we are not really going to learn anything today because I'm not really allowed to say this sentence. I'm pretty sure there will be some people out there saying, "No, Pavel, you are a copycat. You're not allowed to say this sentence because then you are a copycat for Bardwell." Oh well. So I kind of stopped, and my catchphrase is "happy flying" now. So, but still, I have not really even turned. I have not really yet even turned on those goggles, and I have not put them on my face because I was out of town for the last few days. This thing arrived on Monday. Today is Thursday. And not much really happened between those 2 days because I came back home yesterday in the evening. So no idea what's going on, how it's going on, how it's gonna work out. I only know that I have the goggles. They are, to be honest, much heavier and bulkier than the DJI goggles too. So and kind of like really bigger. And if you ask me, I don't like the setup they have for the antennas. I honestly don't think that those patch antennas that you have to screw in is such a awesome solution. This is irritating. I hate like putting antennas when I come to the flying field. And the problem with this setup, actually with the box, it doesn't fit. And if you ask me, this is a big deal. honestly, for me, this is a big deal that this thing does not fit in the box with the antennas attached. Super irritating. But well, there are worse things in life than the goggles that does not fit where they should fit. But it's not the good thing. Yeah, the hobby doesn't have too many calories. Douglas Young, yeah, I lost a few. I still should lose like 10. No idea how it's gonna happen because kinda lately me losing weight kinda stopped. So this is not really the case, and I think I will have to like step down on the diet thing. Okay, does it even turn on? How to turn this thing on? I think I will have to read the manual. Because power button. Amazing. I love power buttons. Steven Guarino. No, it would not fit even with the stubbies in front. Just doesn't. So this is the thing. Okay. How to adjust the focus. This is the same thing. Actually, you know what? The focus on the OSD in the goggles is not perfect. This is one more time. I don't know why they are doing that. They kind of put the optic too close to my eyes for my liking. But at least with this thing, I can more or less focus on the bottom line on the OSD, which is really truly amazing because this is not something that's happening with every goggles I have. So, okay. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. Still have problem focusing. Okay, absolutely have problem focusing. And really like the font is super small, so it's not helping either. I will have to play with that thing later, most probably. Still, not the worst goggle I ever had on my face. Not the best either, because honestly, if you ask me, the DJI FPV goggles V1 and V2, not the small one that they created the last week, are the most comfortable. Absolutely not a problem. Always everything is focused. And this is mostly because those goggles are not so close to your eyes. There is just some space between your eyes and the optics. And honestly, it helps. It helps really a lot. This HDO2 were better, if you ask me. But I don't own the HDO2, so that's a completely different story. So, I think we have to start building and rebuilding because the time flies. We have only like 1 hour for today. Come on. Come on. So this is... I also have not played with that thing yet because of the time. The camera looks kind of standard, kind of nice, nice big lens. I wonder if they fixed the issue with the not standard hole spacing on this thing. Because if I remember correctly from the beginning of the systems, the hole spacing was absolutely not standard because this is 26.5 to 20. So we have a 20 by 20. But if we have a 20 by 20, oh, I get it. This is M2.5 threaded. So you can just put it on the 20 by 20 stack and put the screws from the bottom. Okay, that's I think interesting. I think that's fine. We will have to install the antenna because the VTX comes with the antenna not shipped, not attached. So let's see quickly how we should install the antenna. How should we install the antenna? Where is the antenna connector? How this thing should work? Okay, so we will have to remove... Oh, this is interesting. So we will have to remove the top plate from this thing. Okay. And then when we will remove the top plate from this thing, we will be able to attach the antenna to the video transmitter. This is how it works. Okay, that's kind of better than I feared, because you do not really have to take the whole upper part. There is just a small piece of metal that you have to take, and then you see this thing over here, and then you only have to reattach this thing. Too bad that the bottom part is not threaded, and there are those M2 nuts over there. If you ask me, that's not the most convenient way of doing stuff, but better than removing everything. So okay, so at least there was no problem with putting the antenna in place, and that is fine. So okay, turned out that installing the antenna on the Avatar VTX Pro is not really a big thing, and it can be easily done. Oh, there are some screws. Okay, they attach some screws, so installing this thing on the frame, if you have 20 by 20 millimeter, not a problem. And we also have the nah. Okay, I was under impression that they... Okay. Oh, yeah. Now we have it. And there is this short cable that you can just use to plug it in and connect this thing to your flight controller. Nice. So at least this part was not hard. Everything was super easy, barely an inconvenience. So I think we can start building and rebuilding. And let's begin with opening the frame and checking what's the state of the affairs inside, because this frame really survived a lot. By the way, this is my personal design. This is the Pirx 5. I think the name is the Pirx 5. That is with me for 4 years. And I also wonder if I ever migrated this thing to 6S. Because I don't remember. I honestly don't remember when I was for the last time flying with this frame. I think I migrated this thing to 6S. I think so. Oh, well, I will plug in the 6S and then we will know if it works, if it's gonna release the magic smoke or not. Dimitri, I'm sorry, I do not read Cyrillic. Kakże on rabotaj na... sorry, I only know a few letters, and honestly, I do not read Cyrillic. The last time I was reading Cyrillic was most probably in 1992, when I was at the 8th grade of the primary school. And I had the Russian language as my the only foreign language in school. So if you want me to understand what you wrote, you kinda should switch to most probably English. There's just the biggest chance I will be able to understand. Okay. So we are clear. I do not have the intention of migrating to Caddx Avatar, Walksnail Avatar. I absolutely will not be migrating. The reason is quite simple. I have too much of the DJI hardware already. and me starting to buy a lot of VTXs is not really something that is very likely to happen, so I'm not really migrating. But I got the goggles and I was interested for quite a while on how this really compares in for my needs, and my needs are not that special because this is just a easygoing freestyle with the drone, maybe something on the, from time to time with the airplane, but very easy and nothing really super hard. Oh, this thing was eating not even grass, but this thing was eating trees. And now we remove this thing. Yeah. Paweł, where you were flying with this thing the last time? It's like completely beaten up. It's oh, fuck. Fuckery, fuck. This is with the plug. I nie czuję, jak rymuję. This is interesting because I completely forgot that this quad is built as the Caddx Vista is connected with a single plug. Oh, but now there is another question, and this is a very important question. Does this frame even have enough of the space for me to try to install the Walksnail Avatar VTX? Fuck. Nope. Nope. It's too big. You see? It's too big. Oh, wow. I think I will have to figure out something else because the Avatar VTX does not fit in the frame. It's just bigger than the Vista. What else can we do? It will not fit over here. It might fit somewhere here. No, it won't. I don't want to put it on the top. So not this one. After all, we won't be putting this thing on this quad because there is just not enough space inside. No, it will not work. This is just the spacing between. The thing is, I designed this frame before I had the Vistas, and I designed this frame as the 100% analog. Then there is the. Let me show you something. Then there is this frame, which seems to be much bigger, and in some extent it is much bigger. But this frame with different arms can act as the 5-inch drone, absolutely not a problem. If you even take a look, the frames really very much look alike. This is basically the same layout, only with some updates, because I figure out that some things could be done in a slightly better way, and there is just much more space in the back. So I think that what we will after all do is that absolutely we will just have to open this frame instead and put the Avatar Walksnail in this frame after all. Too bad, because I wanted to fly with the 5-incher, but I will not be able to fly with the 5-incher. Funny fact, I can only order the middle plate, and I can swap arms over here, but I'm not sure if this really makes sense. But at least the OBS is not hanging anymore. I'm not sure if you noticed, but we had no breakdowns on the OBS yet, and I'm still streaming for the last 15 minutes, which is a huge success, because it was not always like that. Maybe while I'm here, before I will close the frame, let me check something else, and let me check if the booster is still operational. buzzers, those batteries on those battery operated buzzers like to die constantly, and if you do not keep them in the nice shape, you have to like buy new ones or at least buy new batteries kind of often. So my way of handling this thing, anytime I have some willingness and time, I just plug the buzzer to the buzzer to be charged a little, especially when I'm not flying any drone for the extended period of time. So let's see if the buzzer still works. And if it doesn't, I will just swap it with something that I charged recently. OBS fails. No, it was the NVIDIA noise reduction. I'm 100% sure that was the new SDK for the NVIDIA noise reduction. When only I switched to the software standard noise reduction, all the problems with hanging OBS just disappeared. So, you stupid NVIDIA, why you do this to me? Okay, buzzer is charging. Yeah, it is. Let's keep this thing under voltage for some time. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Okay, the buzzer is still operational. Still, before I will put this frame together, let me charge the buzzer for the few minutes. It's just a good idea to charge this thing from time to time. So, instead of installing this thing in the 5-incher, let's install this thing in the 7-incher. We're gonna have more fun. Famous last words. Mine or OBS's? That's a completely different thing. So, how's iNav 6? Because you know what? We found some bugs. We found some bugs, and there is a problem with the crossfire on H7. Right now, if you save the settings while any crossfire receiver, including the Express LRS, is connected, then the connection between the receiver and the flight controller dies. Have no idea why. I mean, have some idea why, but don't know why it's happening. Good thing it's dying only during the save operation. When you fly, you do not save, so everything is fine. There is just strange. There is a strange routine in iNav that I have no idea why even is there, that kills the RX during those save operations. I honestly don't know why. I have no idea. This was introduced like 8 years ago or so. Just stop receiver when we save into the EPROM. And during this thing, it dies on the H7. So if I will find some time in the near future, I will have to debisect, and the bisect is really like the magical operation that allows you to find any bug. What bisect does, if you do anything with the software development and you ever work with Git, there is a Git bisect. You just tell bisect about 2 revisions. The revisions that you know is working and the revision that something is not working, and then Git bisect allows you to cut the range of the commits in half. You build the firmware, you flash it, you test it, you tell the bisect, okay, this is working, so that means that the bug is earlier in time, so we just next one goes earlier in time. And then even if you have thousands and thousands of commits everywhere, you can easily, if you have, of course, time, then you will find any bug and the exact reason why any bug was introduced. To answer the question from Alexei Boyko, no, we do not support MSP for VRX. This is not really that much popular at the moment. Although if any developer would like to implement this feature in iNav, we will gladly accept the code changes. because we almost always gladly accept the code changes. And that's the situation. No, ChatGPT cannot help with debugging enough. Actually, ChatGPT is... by the way, I'm a user of ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT on the regular basis. I use ChatGPT to, for example, to write the video descriptions for my channel. Like, hey, chat, please write me a video description about this, and this. And it just writes the description. Then you have to fix a few things, and it's fun. But ChatGPT is not guaranteed to give you... ChatGPT is learned from the data that is publicly available. So yes, it can help with some obvious tasks, of course, but ChatGPT will not create anything by itself. For example, if it suggests you some kind of the code snippet that does something, it doesn't really mean that the ChatGPT wrote the code. No, ChatGPT found the code somewhere, maybe adopted this thing a little to like more suit your need, and then ChatGPT gave you the answer. But saying that ChatGPT is coding for you, nah, this is not really the thing. For example, I'm working on a small project, and for the project I'm using the Google API to get the... I wanted to use the Google API to get some basic statistics of the YouTube videos, any YouTube video, not only mine, but any YouTube video. So yeah, hey ChatGPT, please write me a code that uses the Google Data API v3 to fetch the data and then system output the number of the views. Unfortunately, no, it failed to do so, which was kind of obvious that it failed to do so. It was close. Not that it was completely wrong, but the code was not working. I had to like Google a lot about the API after all, made some adjustments. So it was not really that bad, but it was not good either. If you would just copy paste the code somewhere in your code base, it would absolutely not work. By the way, what's the voltage on the Avatar VTX Pro? Who knows what's the voltage? 25 volts, so it can be directly powered from the 6S. Okay, that simplifies a lot. So I will not have to worry about some of the stuff. Oh, I have to find... I have this thing, I have this box, but I think the box does not have what I want. I have this box, and inside of this box I have a plethora of different 3D printed elements. But of course I don't have the connector that would allow me to connect the antenna to this thing. Oh well, you cannot have everything all the time. So we will have to, after all, do this in the manual way. I will just open the CAD later and design and print something that will allow me to nicely install the antenna. No, I don't even have to design anything. I have different designs that fit the frame perfectly. So we will be able... Plethora, yes, plethora is a great word. There are many great words that you can learn and amaze your friends by knowing different words. Like, for example, I love the word abysmal. Such a nice word, abysmal. This is abysmal plethora of problems. Anyhow, now what we can do is that now we can check if this frame has the... Yes, fantastic. This is great. This is great because this thing has 20 by 20 millimeter holes. So I will be just easily able to install this VTX into the frame without using any special special things. Yes, in general, it's a nice idea to learn a new word, even if you kind of speak even if you speak the language in the, I think, a pretty good way. I honestly, I think that English language is pretty amazing. My skills in the English are pretty amazing, and I'm actually pretty fluent with it. Not perfect. Miraculously enjoying abysmal plethora of words. Nice. But going back to the issue of the words, when you are not using the advanced words or any fancy words, then you don't know them. So you have to learn them to be able to use them. So learning a new fancy word from time to time, and then also learning yourself not only to know the word and know the meaning, but how to use it in the sentence and remember to use it in the sentence is kinda important. Okay, so thread lock. Always use thread lock on any threads that you use in your drone. Always use a thread lock. Because you do not want screws falling apart, and especially with those smaller screws, you also do not want to over tighten them. So you have to be careful and find the good compromise between of how much of the force you want to apply and the safety of the screw, that it holds the thing you are attaching in place. Threadlock, amazing discovery of the 20th century. One of the greatest discoveries ever. And it changed threadlock changed a lot in the engineering in the 20th century. But okay. So, okay, camera removed. We will have to unsolder the wires that are holding the camera in place, holding the air unit in place, but we will do it slightly later. I want to break free. No, I want to find the bracket that will allow me to install the camera on the drone. I want to break free. God knows. Use them or lose them. Yeah, basically that's the situation. If you don't use them, you might lose them. And yeah, motors vigorously disconnecting from the arms when you have not added or have not applied enough of the torque on the screws is absolutely a thing. Is absolutely a thing. A few years ago, my friend had such a adventure. He's not flying anymore. He kind of switched to different hobbies now. He was playing with the new drones, and he put those ridiculous T-Motor F80 on the 5-incher. Like ridiculous size of the motor for the 5-inch drone, but they put them, and he's flying, like pushing this, and well, something is wrong. I feel that something started to vibrate. He lands, and like one motor was like super loosely kept in place by only 2 screws. So that was the moment when he learned that one has to use a thread lock, because if one doesn't use the thread lock, one might lose it. Okay, time to power up the soldering iron, or the soldering iron, like my American friends would say. But over here in the Europe, we kind of rather say solder, because there's an L, and we kind of like to pronounce our letters. But that's the... No, the standoffs won't fit through the VTX. No, this is not the case. But here it's like nicely in place, so we won't have any problems. I should have somewhere a design for the antenna, so I will be able to attach the antenna over here, and should be fantastic. And then we will only have to put the camera over here, flash latest. Maybe I will flash Betaflight to it. Okay, we will flash something and update the firmware on the thing. Because I have no idea which version of the firmware is on the VTX and on the goggles. And if you want to use the iNav with the Avatar, then you kind of have to have the latest version of the firmware, which of course won't be any problem. We will not be doing this today, but nevertheless, we will be doing this. By the way, have you heard the news that DJI, after all, released the new firmware for the goggles that adds the HD OSD? Like 4 days after we released iNav 6, they said, okay, we're gonna release something else. And from what I know, they messed up the fonts. The fonts they added is not really the font the Betaflight is using. So as the result, there are some discrepancies here and there about stuff. I was using the T-Motor F80s on the airplanes because they were beefy. But the overall, I have no... Overall, they were kinda not that big after all. And the KV range on the T-Motor F80 was also kinda limiting. So stopped doing that. So okay, I think we will have to. I think we will have to A, remove the wires, and B, remember... Soldering iron is kind of cold. And also remember and try to... Try to decide to which serial port to connect the Avatar. Because we have the option either we... By the way, which flight controller this is? I think this is the Caddx H7 Mini. I think this is the Caddx H7 Mini, so we kinda have to find the layout for the board. Caddx H7 Mini. Yeah, this is the Caddx H7 Mini. Page not found. Holy bro. Hey, holy bro. What's up? Caddx is no longer... it's in the FPV section. So, Caddx H7 Mini. And the... Okay, here it is. So... I have this thing connected to serial port 2 over here. So this is TX, this is RX. Strange, but okay. But okay. I don't like, by the way, the wires that is originally on the DJI Air units. Seems like a nice wire from the outside, but when you start soldering this thing in, you kinda quickly discover that the insulation is just melting. So I'm honestly not the biggest fan of this thing, but well, you no longer, not always can have everything you wish for. I wish that was possible, but isn't. So Air unit is out. Let me quickly check this. You see how the wires look like only after some soldering? It's like abysmal. State of the insulation on this thing is just abysmal only after a few solderings. So we will have to fix the termination because putting such a thing into your drone is not really the best thing ever. Okay, so that should help it. Ouch. Not great, not perfect. 3.5. So then let's instead put this thing into the thing. We will I will not shorten those wires because I will be later removing this thing, and I don't want to then search for the replacement for the wire. I will not shorten the wires. Besides, I will not be flying this thing all the time, so I suppose it's fine. So let's quickly just make a knot on the wire, and let's solder everything in place just like it is. And I honestly have no idea why so many companies are not putting good quality silicone wires on everything they sell. It's such a nice thing that when you have the nice quality wire. Okay, so the X is at the end, so here we have the RX. RX will be here. I have to find which one is the TX. Which one? Okay. How he what? What? So gray should go to the RX. But there is no gray, there is a blue. There is no gray, there is only blue. And my color vision is okay. So it's not me not being able to. How this ungodly thing should work. Oh, so this is how you flash the firmware. Okay. So I love it. I just bloody love it. Well, I don't, but okay, so gray is blue. Gray is blue, and the blue has to be connected to the RX because this is not what the manual says. Suleiman, this is something that I designed for my drones some time ago. If you search for the Pirx HD or Pirx, yes, Pirx XD or Pirx Mini on the Armatan Productions, you will find a link that will give you this design, which you can download. Basically fits almost every drone and every camera. I have this thing in a few different sizes, and search for the frame Pirx HD 7. or search for the... Now I have to open this, just the part of the manual. So, okay, allows VTX on off with the switch on the transmitter. So, okay, we can just use the switcher on this thing. Okay, we will then use the switch option. Bloody hell. I don't like those small flight controllers, because those bloody small flight controllers have usually extremely small soldering pads. I know how to solder, but still, if I have the option to use those teeny tiny thingies, or just properly sized soldering pad, I will always choose the properly sized soldering pad, because who wouldn't? To be honest, who wouldn't? Bloody hell. But okay. It's in place. So the last wire would be for the ground, and the ground is this one. Okay. I think we are done. Not the best soldering job ever, but we have to assume it will be enough. So, okay. Let me then just move this thing out. Let's zoom out a little. And let's install the camera, please. Okay. And that should does it. The only thing that is left is we kinda have to A, find the battery, B, connect the battery, check if there is no magic smoke. And if there will be no magic smoke, we can say that it was a huge success. Okay. Lipo. And let's observe the magic smoke. No magic smoke. But also nothing on the VTX. That probably means that we will have to change the setup for the voltage switcher that this flight controller is equipped with. But because I was not using the voltage switcher before, so that's the thing. I wonder which version of iNav I have on this thing. COM 10, no, COM 5. Yes, it was the COM5. After all, I have the version from 19th of the February, so this is already, I think, one of the release candidates, so not that bad. So let's see about the mode switcher and the user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. Which user this should be? Okay, let's check it right. Let's do it like that. No, I see no LED on the VTX, so it was not user 1. So maybe it was user 2. No. I see no LEDs on the VTX. User 3? User 4? I think I will have to just open the source code to see what's... Interesting. Okay, let me find the multimeter. Let me find the multimeter and let's try to find out what's the deal with this thing. Right. So, let's see if we have voltage on the output. Now 0.7 volts. .7 volts is not good enough. Nothing will work with 0.7 volts. Nope. So that's not this. And do we have the voltage over here? 16 volts. So over here everything is looking good. Everything is looking good over here. So now I change the configuration of the pin IO. 0.7 volts. .7 volts. I don't think that this is working like expected. I have a gut feeling that something is wrong, and I think I will just have to switch to. I honestly don't want to fight with this thing today. I know. So I will just have to resolder the VTX to one of the pads that is always powered. That will be probably the simplest. And no, I don't have to power cycle the flight controller. This thing is changing like immediately after you apply. So no. And the fact that there is 0.7 volts on the pad means that most probably something is wrong, because there should be no 0.7 volts on the pad. So still, let's quickly find out where is the, or maybe I don't know. I don't want to know. Let me quickly find the place where I can get the VBAT. The place where I can get... What? Okay. Paweł, you're not the brightest star in the universe. I fucked up. I fucked up. I soldered to the video out. I wanted to power the Walksnail Avatar HD Pro from the V out. Paweł. Not cool. Not cool, Paweł, not cool. I should go and punish myself. Because this is not what a famous YouTuber should be doing during his live stream. Fuck. During the live stream. Trying to power Walksnail Avatar from the video output. Okay, now. Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. Absolutely, everybody makes mistakes, and only I think that really baboons do not admit that they made a mistake, because everybody can make a mistake from time to time. This is absolutely normal. I work quite often with younger developers than me. And one of the very important lessons I have to teach everyone is that everybody makes mistakes. Some people more often, some people less often, but still everybody makes mistakes. And the fact that you made a mistake does not make you a, I don't know, a failure or whatever. Anyhow, now let's see if now we will be able to power this thing up. So we are not able to power this thing up. So now on the... now we have power. Now we have power. Great. Now we have power. Now we have shut down the power. And now what we can do is we can... power on the goggles and try to figure out how to bind the VTX with the goggles. I have too small desk. I do not can fit everything on my desk. So how to bind? There should be a connect the VTX and the power of the goggles. Short press the VTX and goggles linking button respectively. This is not English. When the VTX enters the pairing state, the indicator light turns red and the goggles and the goggles end is DDD. You should have give it to someone who's speaking. No. Let me read you this sentence because it's hilarious. Short press the VTX and goggles linking buttons respectively, as shown in the picture. When the VTX enters the pairing state, the indicator light turns red and the goggles end is DDD. I don't think I will have to remove the smoke stopper. And the goggles is DDD. Okay. We had fun. Oh man. Let's try to make the goggles DDD. Let's make goggles DDD. I need something sharp. Do I have something sharp? I have something sharp. The goggles are DDD. And I think they paired. Fantastic. Let's see if this thing really is paired. Okay. Where? Here's the joystick. Where is the... Skip. Camera. Camera. We have to. I have to rotate the camera. Rotate. How to go back? You know what? This thing works out of the box. I had to change absolutely nothing. Previously, I had the WTF OX. And you know what? Everything works out of the box. I'm surprised. I was expecting some strange things that would be happening, but no. Even the OSD works. No, here. You will not be able to see probably anything, but okay, the OSD is there, and I had to do absolutely nothing to make the OSD happen. So kudos for Walksnail, Caddx, whatever, for actually doing this thing in a way that it makes sense. Because I was like, I would have to change stuff, but no, everything works out of the box. MSP DisplayPort configured, and only on the OSD, let's select the Willy FPV. I will, because I had selected the Betaflight 4.3 compatibility. If I set the avatar, now look what's going on. Now look what happens. I even have the HD layout. I can even have the HD layout. I will have to update the goggles, but I will not be updating the goggles today. We have no time for this kind of the joy right now. But later I will just update the update this, and probably we're gonna have everything nice. Yeah, I know. Firmware version does not. Okay. So save. Yeah, some of the fonts after I switch from the Betaflight compatibility mode to the avatar mode are not how they should be. But at the end, I think it's quite nice. Everything seems to be working perfectly fine. So that's pretty cool. So huge success so far. Kudos for everyone involved in making this thing. This includes the Betaflight developers. I think that was mainly Darren who worked on making this thing happen. That is actually work without absolutely any problems. I just connected, enabled, and everything is there. So pretty good. I like when things are happening without any kinds of the problems. This is always an extremely good sign. And well, I'm looking forward to probably this weekend when I will have the opportunity to test this thing in flight. Like everything worked just like that. I do, yes, I know that I have to upgrade the firmware because the Goggle informed me that, man, the firmware on the VTX and on the goggles does not match, so please fix it. But binding, no problem, no activation, no messing. I just had to select, I had previously selected the MSP DisplayPort on the goggles, so I just didn't. Yes, I have the OSD, I have the vision, everything is fantastic. This is in the 720p right now, and by default it's coming shipped with the 25 milliwatts. But you can, like, I switch to 500 milliwatts. The VTX is toasty. The VTX is absolutely toasty. So this is absolutely something that you have to be aware of. But besides that, like, everything worked just like that. Ian FPV. Yes, INAV flies well. And guess what? INAV 7 will fly even better. There are a few ideas on how to make INAV fly even better. And everybody will love it. Of course, only those who will try will love it, but I think you know what I mean by that. By the way, for INAV 6.1, probably May. There are a few issues with the INAV 6.0 that we will have to resolve. And probably the biggest problem we have right now is something I mentioned already, that Crossfire from time to time is freaking out. Not on all VTXs, not on all receivers, by the way. The diversities mainly. No idea why. So this is something that we will have to fix. But besides that, like, looking pretty good. So the beeps, DDD. No, but this is really, no, this is amazing. No, listen, and the goggles and is DDD. Upgrade. Please go to the official website to download the upgrade firmware. Avatar Sky blah 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 is the VTX file. Copy to VTX U disk. VTX needs power supply. Be careful not to change the file name. Copy the upgrade blah blah blah. Root directory. Connect the power supply. And find to the there's old firmware files. Please delete them. Press and hold. Ah. Huh. Okay, so upgrading actually is pretty simple. Looks like the upgrading of this thing is pretty simple, because you have to upload this to the flash drive, press the linking button for 8 seconds, and it's updated. Cool, outstanding, fantastic, great, and even better. We can even check how this thing looks over here. So Walksnail download. Products support. Maybe it's D. Who knows? Products, digital system. But there is a problem with the Walksnail. It's more expensive. It's more expensive than the DJI Caddx Vista, or let's call it like that. So that's not great. And it has the stabilization. Fantastic, outstanding. Where's the download? Download. Hello. Where to download? No, because it's bloody hard to put the link on the product page. Walksnail firmware, walnut firmware, avatar. I think that will be this one. On the Google Drive. Okay. 100 megabytes? Nice. We love 100 megabytes. Okay, downloads. RAR. How am I supposed to unrar this thing? Like, honestly? Why RAR? Yes, this is a rant. I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware this is a RAR, but in 2023, still using RAR, this is not how you do it. So this is Avatar Sky and Avatar SE ground. Okay, so I will just have to do the update. I will do the upgrade tomorrow. But this is interesting because look, Avatar Sky is different version than the Avatar goggles. But maybe this is not really a problem. Buy WinRAR? No, I will not buy WinRAR. No, the RAR was something. The RAR was something like in the 90s. I agree that when we only have the floppy disks but now, like, why? What's the point of using RAR? Anyhow, we will be slowly ending. So thank you very much for watching. As you can see, installing and linking the Walksnail Avatar is actually a pretty simple job. No problems, if not my mistakes in the middle when I either took the wrong frame that had no place to put the VTX, and I figure out why I connected in the VTX in the wrong place. Everything is just outstanding out of the box, so this is pretty cool. There will be no stream this will be no stream this Saturday. Maybe next week, we will see. Well, I will let you know when new content will be on the channel. Probably next week we also gonna have the how it's called, another build stream, because I still have so much things to build, and like having the stream is connecting two things into one. So thank you very much for watching, and like always, happy flying. Yeah. Ciao.